Hello, and welcome to the Psychic Wave Podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Sanishin, and on this episode, I had the band New American. Now, I heard about New American from my buddy, Nani from Bundy, and he said that they were really great, so you know what? I trust his judgment, and I had them on the podcast. I would like to preface this by saying I have just finished podcast episode number 41 and 42 in the same day. I've never done back-to-back podcasts before. I'm kind of tipsy. I just ordered pizza, and I had a really good time. I'm tired as fuck, but I'm really happy that these bands came on. Anyway, for this podcast, it was the band New American, and it was really great meeting people that I've heard about through other friends. I don't even remember what we've talked about at this point. I'm actually, I've been drinking. We got some Bootleggers Brewery IPAs in here. Figured let's go local. And oh boy, after two podcasts starting at 8 o'clock, it's now 11:48 p.m. I'm kind of lit, guys. I don't know what to do. Is that a word? Should I say lit? It's not a good word? Nope. Whatever. Anyway, this podcast was brought to you by Benjamin's Butthole Plugs. Have you been eating too much hot chicken? Have you been eating broccoli with cheese and mushrooms? If you have, go over to benjaminsbuttholeplugs.com. Clog that shit up. Thanks again to our sponsors, and please enjoy podcast number 41. I wasn't counting, but I'm assuming that was about 5 seconds. All right, so this is the 41st. Is that right? 41st, does that sound right? Is that how you say that?
41st.
41st.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever said that. Ever. 41st episode of the Psychic Wave Podcast. I'm with New American.
I'm Alex.
This is Johnny.
And I first heard about you guys from Nani of Bundy. Okay. He was playing a show with you guys. And I was actually on my way to that show. And there was like debris on the freeway. And both my front tires popped.
Oh.
Yeah. Fucking lame.
That,
so I haven't seen you guys play.
It's a really bad start to our relationship.
Yes. But and I trust Nani's opinion with music, and he said you guys were really good. And he also said that you guys didn't like baby him or cookie cutter when he asked how the show went. You know, most people he says like just say that it was great, dude. You guys sounded great. Mm-hmm. But you guys actually had like constructive criticisms for him
for Bundy.
Yeah, and he really appreciated it. He like knows that you guys were actually paying attention because you had something to say and stuff like that.
I mean that's kind of refreshing considering it is difficult to get actual critique from people after shows, especially because most of them are blood related or friends or fans who have always dug your stuff and they don't want to be the one to say, yeah, you know what? Why don't you play that better? You know?
Yeah.
But I felt like I was there at the beginning of like the early Bundy shows, and we saw them a few times, and there was a lot of stuff I really liked about their music. Yeah. And Nani's such an easy guy to talk to. I've always felt that way since I've met him, and I knew he could. You know, I don't know how old Nani is, but I feel 29. Like he's my age. Okay, he's older than me, a little bit older than me. So, like, because he's an older dude, like. You can say something like that to him, and he can take it and digest it and not think that.
Well, he actually
crap.
Yeah,
I think age does do that a lot too, but I think he just doesn't. I feel like he just doesn't want to play a bad show ever again. Like that whole like learning experience, like cutting your teeth. I think he's past that, and now he's just like, how is the sound? How do we perform?
Yeah, it's like once you get past that part, it's all the little things that you try to hone in on.
Yeah.
But it's cool though because we've been playing with Bundy for a few years now, right? So
I mean, probably like 2 years now, and they've made so many changes in their like, instrumentation and they're such a great live band. I mean, they were always a great live band, but we've seen some bands that have started, and you're like, wow, that's difficult, but like maybe there's something there. And then if you follow a band for long enough, you make friends. Like you actually see artists make really great transformation into really interesting local musicians.
Yeah, I feel shitty because I wanted to see Nani and Bundy maybe before now, just to see how they've grown, because he'll ask me like, how was that? And I'm like, dude, every time I've seen you, it's been good. I don't know. Like, some rooms sound differently, and so I'll tell him that, but like, that's not always your fault. You can adjust for it, but every room's going to sound a little bit different. You know?
Yeah, and you're giving a lot of trust to someone.
Yeah, that's true, huh?
Yeah.
But I mean, they were a 3-piece at first. Now they're a 4-piece right now. But yeah, no, it was a completely different sound, you know. So I felt like Nani really spearheaded the whole change, you know. And you gotta tell he's the brains behind it all.
Yeah, I mean, now I feel like, was it Johnny?
Johnny, yeah.
He's it seems like they're like splitting the writing work now more so when it was the 3-piece.
Yeah.
And Johnny's a really great musician as well. So
Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun to see that change.
Yeah. So, New American.
Mhm.
We talked a little bit before we started rolling, but why don't you tell everybody where the band started, how you guys started, all that shiz.
Well, me and Johnny were in another band, and
What was that band called?
it was called No Way Back.
Yeah.
No Way Back. Why the kind of like a bittersweet thing, or just?
Why the awful name? Well, we were in high school.
Oh no,
Well, no, it was an awful name.
I'm
Oh,
just
shit.
that's how we feel about it.
I don't think you can pick a good like band name in high school. I just don't think you can.
No. I mean, I feel like it's really difficult now just to pick a good band name. There's so much obscure shit that's been taken.
Yeah.
You can add now, instead of the, you can put them in front of it, which changes things a little bit.
Ugh, them crooked vultures.
Exactly.
Oh, great,
Yeah.
though. They're great.
Yeah, they're really good, but
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah. But
Now
yeah.
we're in another band, and then with our friend Chris, and he's like, you know, I have a friend named Karim. I think he'd be really good playing bass in the band. So, you know, he ended up coming to a practice, you know, and we kicked out our old bass player, and this was like in the beginning of 2013, and New American has been around since then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah, no,
Right?
it's actually as long as we've been a band, like we've known a lot of bands who have not lasted as long, and I feel very, very lucky. It's always felt like we were always going to be a band, and I have
Yeah.
to. That's a very lucky. It's a very lucky thing.
Yeah.
Because I've seen some other musicians and they've told me some horror stories.
Or even like, you know, the bands that are like on the rise playing big shows, and then they just stop.
And you're like, oh man, I thought you guys were all cool.
That
oh
is-
no,
that is
turns,
funny.
turns out we all fucking hated each other. Oh okay, well, that sucks, man.
Dude, that's the hardest part, because I'm looking for a bass player, and I've talked about it a lot, but it's not that you're just looking for somebody that's good at what they do and can play the stuff you've already written and can be creative down the road.
The right way too.
Yeah. You're
Yeah.
looking realistically for a friend, because you're going to be hanging out with them all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't want an asshole or like some random dude, because then they're gonna be the scapegoat, you know, at
Yeah.
that point or something. But
Well, yeah, and then
you just want, yes, at the end you're gonna be kicking it with these people, so
Yeah.
they gotta be your friends.
you have to have like you hope to have a relationship with someone before, because it's like, yeah, I want you to come in and play someone else's stuff,
Yeah.
and then try to be along in the writing process in the future, but don't overstep boundaries.
Right.
So like stay in your lane, but also play other people's stuff and kind of be be that for us,
Yeah,
please.
it's
You know?
hard.
It's
It's tough, and then you also learning your role in the band. You know,
Yeah.
like for us, we've been in a band for so long, like we all know our roles. Like you
Yeah.
know,
Mm-hmm.
like not to say that you step out of your roles or anything, but just like, you know, we know how to communicate with each other really
Right.
well and like effectively.
Right.
So that makes a huge difference. You
Yeah.
know.
So you were in a band in Downey? Is that where you guys went to high school?
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
Downey High, yeah.
Downey High. And then your friend said you had another band? I was trying to follow along.
No. So we just kicked our old bass player out,
Uh-huh.
and had got our current bass player.
Oh, got it.
Replaced them, and then we just decided to go with a different band name. And
Okay.
We wanted to start fresh. I mean,
Did
our-
the sound change much?
Well,
I mean, it was
you
more
know-
like just progression into what we were listening to. You know.
Yeah, especially because Chris and Karim, who's the newer bass player, they're both like, you know, musically trained. You know, took jazz in high school,
Mm-hmm.
whereas Alex and I, you know,
We listened to music and
yeah, we just kind of
Yeah.
make it work.
I
you
don't know how somebody's like, oh, play it in blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Like whatever key or note. I'm
Yeah,
like,
all right,
that's
man.
not going to happen.
Yeah,
I'll
like-
play along.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
don't know the name of that.
Yeah, no, it's
how it is.
But these guys just had that ability, and then it allowed us in songwriting to be like, oh wow, this is way more dynamic. This is way more interesting. Why don't we give this a new name? You
Nice.
know, and it from there we started playing shows. I think our first show was out in in end of 2013.
No, that was the beginning of 2013. It was like the end of 2012.
Wow.
So yeah, so I mean, the newer member is a real relative term because it's been
Yeah, but it's been we've been playing live for like 4 years. I mean,
Wow.
we're
So yeah,
That's good, man.
Yeah, it's been a long time. We've been
yeah,
playing
we're a
stuff,
pretty
so-
cohesive unit. You know,
That's good.
We've seen each other for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what are your roles in the band? What do you guys play?
I play the drums.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought I saw pictures of you playing the drums. I know that you sing and play guitar.
Yeah.
Johnny. And then Alex's drums. I know people listening don't know who I'm talking about if I don't say their name. But yeah, so I've only been playing. I've only played 5-6 shows my whole life,
Yeah, I heard
Like,
that in one of the podcasts. Like that.
and it's fucking nerve wracking, but so fun. And Nani inspires me in a lot of ways because he was like, I just always knew Bundy was the thing I was going to do, and I was just going to stick with it. So luckily, Psychic Wave is kind of like screen printing, podcast, band. It used to be some art stuff. I just go under the name Psychic Wave. So Psychic Wave probably won't die for me.
Yeah.
It just, I think it's going to go through peaks and valleys of me like playing live music and not playing live music, you know, which is a bummer because I think playing live is one of the most fun things I've ever done in my life.
It is, man. And the worst part about it is that it goes by so fast.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, your set's done. You're like, oh man.
Yeah.
Even my bad shows, it's like I still loved it after because I felt like, all right, I'm never gonna do that again. I know not to do this thing. It's just like a huge slap in the face.
Oh,
you know?
it's what
Yeah.
you need. You need to be pissed off.
You need an ass kicking every once in a while.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite was like anecdote is when Queens of Stone Age, they played a show in Germany. It's like when they were like a pretty new band, and Josh Homme had a broken leg. They just put on like a real half-ass show, and they were like, we're never doing this again. So they tattooed like free tag like Friday. It was a German festival, so they put like in Friday in German and the time, and they tattooed it on like the most painful part of their body.
Yeah.
And so they all have it. It's like, I know that feeling. That's a more like,
pretty extreme,
visceral feeling.
Yeah.
Mine's more mental. Like they decided to make it painful for themselves. But I know that feeling. It's just like, I just made an ass out of myself.
Yeah.
It could be for one person.
I do that with drinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, man. It happens.
I like 99.9% of the time always have it under control, But I have a little bit too much fun with drinking sometimes. And last week or 2 weeks ago, I said something to one of my friends that I didn't sleep for like 2 days after because I said something stupid, like so stupid. And I felt so bad for my friend, and I felt so pissed at myself for doing it. You know what? I will never do that again, ever again. And it was just like, I think we need learning experiences. And I've talked about it a little bit before too. I think that people think musicians are cool, like for a lot of reasons. But I think one of the reasons they think they're cool is because they know that they're people who go up every night and like possibly will humiliate themselves in front of a crowd of people. And if you got the balls to even like attempt to go up and do that, I think people just automatically look at you with a little more respect.
Yeah.
Usually.
Definitely.
I think that's why they think musicians are cool. It's like, oh, they're fearless.
They're up there doing it.
Yeah.
I'm shitting my pants, but I'm still going to do it.
Yeah, that is a funny thing though, because I always, as a musician, I feel that way for other artists. Like if I go see a band, it's like, I went to go see one of our favorite bands is Moonhoney out in LA.
Oh yeah, they're playing with the Paranoids soon.
Oh yeah, at the Lovett or the
Lovett
Pavilion.
Yeah. And their opening act when they played a show, and we don't need to go through names, but they were just really not great. Like I just felt like I don't.
Oh, at the last shot,
I didn't know what they were doing. Like I didn't.
Wait, Moonhoney?
Not
Or?
Moonhoney, the band before
one of the
them.
opening bands, yeah.
I love Moonhoney. Fuck.
Yeah.
The band before them was just not good, and it's sometimes I always feel like, man, good for them going up on stage and like doing their thing and making art how they feel like they should be making art, but it's a like as like even as a musician, that's a hard line. You have to like be like, well, fuck,
Yeah.
Like I wish they didn't do that.
I don't respect every musician.
Yeah,
you
it's
know
a tough
what I mean?
thing as a musician to say that though.
Nah, I'm a dick though. like I don't like it. You know what's hard for me? Bands that are very talented but just aren't original.
Mm.
Like
Oh, I know exactly.
Oh, I have
Yeah,
one
we
right
have
on
a
the top of
couple
my
bands,
head.
you know, but
I'm-
yeah.
I don't like the Arctic Monkeys.
Mhm.
They put out this new song,
Oh, no.
4 out of 5,
Mm.
and the music is great.
Mm.
The thing is, it's Bowie. They're just being
Okay.
Bowie.
You're talking to the right band right now. Okay, so
Yeah.
I've spent a lot of time thinking about this new album,
Yeah.
and we are like
Have you listened to?
I've listened to the whole thing
I
several
haven't yet.
times. Like
Oh, you haven't listened to the whole thing, dude?
No.
I've listened to it a lot recently.
It's
Okay.
a lot to take in, but I mean, like,
Okay, so like
Yeah.
we're like old Arctic Monkeys fans,
Mm-hmm.
and like we get that every album makes a different change and a different style. Like
Sure.
Humbug was different than Suck It and See, and Suck It and See was very much different than AM. But this album is yeah, we wanted a difference, we wanted a change, but I feel like this should have been like an Alex Turner solo album, and I mean that in the I like
I
the
know what you
album
mean.
a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I really do.
Well, that's why it's upsetting for me is because I like the music a lot. Some of the lyrics are corny to me, but whatever.
You take
but-
that with Alex Turner.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I probably don't like it a lot more because he's kind of a douche to me. And I'm trying really hard to separate how I view him as a person versus his music.
Sure.
You know, because I think horrible people
Yeah.
can make beautiful music.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I
right?
mean,
I'm
horrible
not-
people can make beautiful things altogether.
Yeah, I'm not saying
Yeah.
he's a horrible person.
Yeah.
I'm just saying like I'm trying to separate the music from his personality. It's hard for me, but you know when I heard that 4 out of 5 song, I was like, this is a great this sounds like a really good musician who took a music class, and the project for the month was to write a David Bowie song.
To write a Space Oddity track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
Well,
really good.
Yeah.
It's so good. That song is good.
Yeah.
But I just because it's not original to me, I'm pissed.
Well, I know that he is a huge David Bowie fan.
Who isn't?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Hold on, next question.
Yeah, I mean, I know he is a huge Dave Bowie fan. It was because I'm a big Last Shadow Puppets fan too. So I get that style of music that he's writing, and I love it, and I seek it out.
Yep.
Like
Me too.
So it's.
I mean, when I listen to Arctic Monkeys, you want like big drums, witty little riffs. You want like
yeah. I mean, you want his like lyricism, and but
Yeah,
this
you
was
know?
just felt like it was too much of a departure, but at the same time,
And that
they-
goatee he has is fucking awful.
Yeah, you know what? That I have for years always looked at that dude and been like, that motherfucker is cool looking. Like with the
Sure.
like from the Sheffield hair.
Yep, I
you know
know.
when he did the slick back thing for AM, because when I first listened to AM,
He does
I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm not going to be into this whole like them being like hot,
Yeah.
the female heart throbs and
Right.
stuff, whatever. It's like, but I
It's
dug
that
it.
rock and
I dug
roll.
it. I dug it though.
exactly
know?
that.
No,
But
the thing is,
This look I'm not into.
he's a handsome guy.
Yeah.
He's dated models, as you do when you're handsome.
Yeah, when
But-
you're handsome, yeah.
But this look, yeah, I'm like, dude, you look like
Yeah.
somebody that I'd be like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to be alone with you in a room at a party at 3 a.m.
Because
because
weird, man.
you're gonna ask me a few questions I'm not comfortable with. But
I just feel like this was one of those like on their record deal they have to make like 6 albums, and he was like, I could do this by myself, because everything I've read about the album is he's sitting at his home piano
right,
and writing the whole thing. And again, all the love in the world to this guy. Like, make whatever decisions you like, you deserve it,
dude,
But I'm just as a musician, like I can critique,
yeah, for days, for days.
for
we
days,
can go on.
yeah.
Like I said, he's a great musician. The band, they're really good.
Yeah.
I just get pissed when I see a lack of originality.
Sure.
Because I mean, maybe it's original for him,
Yeah.
but I'm an asshole and I overanalyze things, so it's not. I'm not pushing the frontier of music any farther.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm trying to sound what I sound like,
Yeah.
and I don't feel like this album sounded like Arctic Monkeys to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. Like I said, there's
Yeah.
almost a certain sound. Even AM had like those signature Arctic Monkey songs.
Yeah. I feel
And they've
like
had
they
such
did.
a great track record. So
Yeah,
they're swing and a
exactly.
miss on this one, but you know,
I mean, I
It's gonna happen
It's gonna
eventually.
happen,
But
yeah.
Cool.
I mean, I feel like I've listened to like so much music and like read so many like Pitchfork reviews. It's like what I do sometimes is like Unimmortal Orchestra put out an album, and I was like, listen to it a few times. I'm gonna try to guess what they're gonna say about this album.
yeah, and you pretty much can.
And you can.
Yeah.
And then with this album, I was like, you know what? Everyone in the rock media is gonna say it's bad, and that it's not interesting and it's not heavy enough to be an Arctic Monkeys record. But I know Pitchfork is going to give it a great review because they're going to listen to the lyrics and they're going to find all this like cool Bowie stuff and they're going to love it.
Yeah.
It's just like you know what it is? It's being jaded. I'm very jaded.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah. I think that's
I'm the first
musicians
to
jaded. Yeah.
I'm the first to admit it. I'm an asshole,
Yeah.
and I'm too hard on other people's music when my music is nothing to write home about.
Yeah.
But that's
part of it.
But the reason why I justify all of it is it's art. So in the end, it's just my taste. It's just your taste. None of it is right.
Yeah.
There's no basis for what is good art. There's you can't actually scale it. It's just how it affects you.
It's just like people who don't like music that much and people who do,
That's fucking blows my mind. I don't understand people that don't like music.
Because we're in that mindset that, you need music, but there's people literally out there that are just like, no, I don't really care about listening to anything.
That
What's
weirds me
wrong
out.
with you?
Because we're in tune. We're with the idea that music and sounds actually affect our being and our happiness and our sadness.
But even like the most basic people, they still they love like Rihanna's album or stuff like that, and they still love music. They just love music I'm not into.
Yeah.
But when I hear somebody say they don't like music, I'm like,
or when I say, well, whatever's on the radio, I don't care.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's like,
it's I don't get that. I mean, I feel like I've been into music ever since. I mean, I was listening to the first things I remember was all the music my mom showed me, which was like Selena and Luis Miguel and and my mom also into country music. She was an interesting one, and I can remember immediately memorizing melodies and it was a game with my family when I was in the car to see if I didn't know a song on the radio.
yeah. Oh, I do that all the time.
And so
My girlfriend hates it.
yeah, but
She's like, "What is it? I don't know what."
yeah,
I mean, she knows a lot of music, but
yeah.
I do it on purpose because I know.
and I realize it now that I'll listen to something and I'll show it to my girlfriend or something, and she'll be like, "Oh yeah, that's really cool. What's that?" And I was like, "Well, it's actually the bass player from this band, the keys player from this." Oh wow, there's that. And then I'll talk to her a week later, and she's a big music fan, whatever. I'm not giving it slighting her anyway.
Same.
But oh, who's this? It was the band I told you about with this bass player,
and she's like, "Oh yeah, they're good."
And then you realize, oh, I take this way too seriously.
What I've done a lot is I've burnt CDs and I've been like, "Put this in your car." She's like, "It's all right, it's all right." And I'm like, "No, put it in your car." Yeah. And then a week later, she'll be like, "Holy fuck,
yeah,
I get it."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Huh?"
Yeah.
It's special. I told you it was special.
I took a trip with my grandmother was moving from LA to Idaho, and so it was me, my father, and my sister in a U-Haul, and we knew the U-Haul sound system was gonna be shit. So and my dad being kind of an audiophile, he was like, all right, we'll get a speaker, a good speaker, we'll put it in the hood and it'll work, And so I made 100 song playlist, right? But really, and I was like, okay, what do I think my sister and my dad would really dig? Queens of Stone Age. My dad's into the heavier stuff. I know he'll like that. He was
there for that concert.
My sister, he came with later. My sister, I knew she would dig Tame Impala. I just knew she would. And the Arcs is one of our favorite groups. It's Dan Auerbach's side project.
I don't know them.
And,
dude, amazing.
It's good. And I put this, and at the beginning they were like what is this stuff? I don't understand this. And
it's not my family.
And now Desert Days lineup comes out. My sister's like, are we going to see Tame Impala? It's like, what the fuck is this about?
Yeah.
And the beginning you're like, I told you guys, and then you didn't listen. But then there's also part of me that's like, oh, that warms my heart. You gave someone something new to listen to.
I think anybody that truly is passionate about music can see which bands are going to make it, usually.
Yeah.
I went to go see Tame Impala opening for the Flaming Lips in Santa Barbara, and that was a great show. Ecstasy. But,
it's always a great song.
Yeah. But, I was listening to Tame Impala and showing my friends and family, and I was like, this is going to be big. This is the next thing. They're like, I don't really,
Yeah.
And then look at where they are now. And I'm like, told you. And now I love this band Sunflower Bean. And I'm like, just fucking watch. And they're blowing up right now, too.
Where are they from?
New York.
Sunflower Bean?
Yeah.
Oh.
They're fucking tight.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
the world needs people that are like, yo, you gotta listen to this shit.
Yeah. Well, I love when people do that for me.
Yeah.
Because, I've listened to so much music that when I hear something that I've heard before, just it's good. I still enjoy it, but it's not really that exciting. And then when somebody shows me something that blows my mind, I'm like, well, literally, one of my friends told me about Sunflower Bean like 2-3 years ago, and he's like, check out this song, and I was like, holy shit. And now like they're one of the biggest influences in my life. Like I think about them daily.
Yeah.
I've had dreams about hanging out with this band, and I'm like, whoa, they're so important to me now that my mind is like putting them in my dreams.
Damn, dude, that's nice though.
Yeah.
So I love it when like that fire gets started under your ass, and you're like,
it kind of like rejuvenates you. You know, you
Yeah.
feel like inspired to do more.
Yeah.
You know, at that
yeah,
point.
it makes me want to write music, and then it makes me hate myself because I can't write music that good.
Yeah. No, there's moments like I've had like you have like lulls. It's like, oh man, I can't find anything. Like, yeah, I can listen to this album again, you know, which is great, but I want to listen to something like really exciting and new.
Yeah, see, that's the thing too, though, because it's kind of the kind of few and far between. That's something that really excites you.
Yeah.
Like, musically.
Yeah. But as much music as we listen to, there's always
always something
something that
that's
you
really
find
good.
every once in a while, like, oh fuck, what's this?
Yeah,
You know?
and that's the thought. Oh,
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah.
That was Soul Wax.
Like
Soul Wax recently.
Soul
dude.
Wax. Oh my god, fucking
Yeah,
love
dude.
Soul Wax, and it was like, how did I miss this for so long?
Oh, like LCD
Soul
a
Wax?
few years
LCD
ago?
Sound System. Yeah, we
That
got
one's
them
still-
way too late.
That one still hasn't hit me.
You haven't
Soul
hit-
Wax? No. Oh,
or
dude.
LCD.
LCD.
Oh,
I
dude.
just kind of boring to me.
Well, you know what? An 8-song dance rock song does sound boring at first.
I mean, no, it just
But-
depends. I feel like it just depends what you grew up with. I grew up with a lot of new wave '80s bands and
Yeah.
stuff,
Yeah.
so it's kind of hitting home for me.
See, you know, and that's funny because 80s is hitting me now,
Okay,
but not. I really hated the 80s. It just sounded so cheesy to me.
It's very kitschy and like, you know.
But
it's,
now I'm finding the deeper stuff in the 80s where I'm
Yeah.
like, oh shit, okay, that was
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, you know, now that we have the access to all this music from all the different, you know, I can go listen to something from the 1600s if I wanted to, and I could be deep into,
some
Can you?
Gregorian
you know,
chant.
yeah, Gregorian. Like, it's on
I see what-
Spotify.
I see what you mean, like
it's
somebody
on
recorded
Spotify.
it. Yeah.
I can find someone making like, you know, baby renditions of Tool albums. Like, that's available out there on the internet.
That's
like,
tight.
I can listen to anything.
Have you heard of Shitty Fluted?
Shitty Fluted? No, what is that?
I'll show you after. But if anybody who's listening, please don't pause this podcast and go look it up. But after, look up "Take on Me" Shitty Fluted. It's
Take
just,
on me. Oh my god.
it's just,
Yeah.
you know, it's been a long time since I died of laughter with my dad and my brother, and my brother showed us that in the car, and my dad was like having a hard time driving because
Oh
he
my
was
God.
like he was laughing so hard, and it was just a great moment. It was really good. I'm gonna unlock the front real quick because our professional photographer is about to be here.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, so professional. She's done this all the time. But nobody can hear me. Why am I talking? Yeah, so we're gonna do we're gonna have pictures for the podcast. I think some of it's gonna be film and some of it's gonna be digital. So you'll have some of it immediately, and I'll send that to you
Cool.
tomorrow. And I'm gonna put the podcast up tonight, the audio for it tonight,
Oh, cool.
because I've been doing so many I have so many podcasts lined up now that I don't have the time to I'll do it tomorrow, which is nicer because then
Now you
comes
have it
out
done already.
immediately.
Yeah.
But so thanks for this. You guys brought Lagunitas, something easy.
Yeah. I felt like, you know, four tall boys sounded about right to start
4
us
tall
off.
boys,
And Lagunitas has always been good to us.
4 long johns.
Yeah. I feel, you know, if there was to be some sort of sponsorship for the band, a beer sponsor, why not?
I just thought about this because I've been buying. Okay, not to say that I wouldn't drink heavily with you guys in the future. I totally fucking will. But the first podcast that you guys do with me, I would like to at least be coherent.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And in the past, I've bought 18 packs, 30 packs of beer, and people have brought shots and all that stuff, and doesn't go as well as I'd like. So I thought, you know what? I'll get a local company, a 6-pack, strong beers, but you know, just a 6-pack. That way we can get a buzz, but not be belligerent and say shit we probably shouldn't. And also, I was like, hey, local sponsorship. I would.
We love Bootlegger Brewery.
Yeah. They can't see that.
Oh wait, hold on.
Oh, yeah, let's
we
put
love
let's put
Bootlegger
Lagunitas
Brewery.
down.
It's great.
Yeah, let me just
We wouldn't drink anything
anything
else.
else besides
I definitely
bootleggers.
would.
this Palomino Pale Ale.
Yeah, it's
was
Palomino
quite
Pale Ale.
refreshing.
You know what? It's much better than Lagunitas. Just kidding. I'm kidding.
But if Lagunitas is out there, it's great.
Yeah, but
we love it.
We
too.
love it as well. Yeah.
Friends share. That's what we're doing. We're not against being sponsored by both.
No.
Yeah.
We will gladly support both
Yeah.
as much as we could.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, free stuff.
Where's this from? Where's Lagunitas from?
I think it was San Diego or so close to there. No, Carlsbad maybe.
I think it is like San Diego. It'll probably,
Petaluma?
I
Wait,
think-
wait. Brewed by the Lagunitas Brewing Company, Petaluma, California, and Chicago, Illinois.
Well, Chicago is much different, but I feel like Petaluma's south.
You think so?
I feel like that's south. Yeah.
Petaluma?
Yeah.
Isn't that near San Francisco?
Well, then it's north.
We're completely
Wait,
wrong.
wait.
About this.
Whoa, wait. Petaluma.
Let's- all right, let's see.
Petaluma.
If only we had a computer
Oh, wait.
in our pocket.
I know.
Let's see.
Actually, I think it's north of San Francisco, like next to Santa Rosa or something.
Oh, okay. Well then,
I was wrong.
we're very wrong there.
I,
Not from San
I
Diego.
bet we're both going to be wrong.
Oh, Bakersfield.
North Bay. North Bay. You're correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, cool.
Yeah.
Suckers.
Damn, I can't believe I got my geography wrong for Southern California. But yeah.
Your shirt, I bought that shirt from my brother when I was at Desert Days.
Nice.
And he doesn't listen to that band, and he doesn't like a lot of the music that I like, but he wears that shirt all the time. It's a fucking badass
It's
shirt.
a gnarly shirt, and actually, it's a funny story because it disappeared. My original one, I bought it like a year and a half ago when I saw them the first time,
Oh yeah,
and I loved the shirt. I wore it all the time, and then it just disappeared.
Yeah,
and then
it
I had to
happens.
replace it with this really awesome Future Island shirt, which was okay because it was a really great shirt as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I still missed the Unimmortal Orchestra shirt, and then I saw them at the Wiltern, and I was like, well,
yeah.
you know, I got to get the shirt again.
Was that just recently? Did
Yeah.
they just do that?
Yeah, they just played Friday. Yeah.
That's crazy. How was it?
Really good. I mean, I really dig their new album. So
I saw them with this girl that's just walking in Berkeley. Open for Tame Impala.
Yeah, we were wanting to go to that
And,
show if you remember. Yeah,
Let's just say the crowd and us did not get along.
really.
I got super fucking hammered,
Oh,
but I still felt like that crowd was so fucking aggressive and just
Really?
angry. It was not the vibe that
That
I
should have
had-
been for that show.
Well, it's hard to compare because the last time I saw them was, after their second album opening for the Flaming Lips
okay.
at a smaller venue where everyone was just so nice.
Yeah,
And so you can't really compare it, But I did compare it, and that
Yeah.
crowd sucked. Fuck you, Berkeley crowd. Mostly those college Berkeley kids, because I
Yeah.
think they got in for almost free, basically.
Those Berkeley bros, dude.
They were assholes. I fucking hated that show. I was on a road trip,
Yeah.
and it gave me the worst, I was upset for a long time after that.
Damn.
For a long
Yeah.
time after that.
it's
But
funny.
Unknown Mortal Orchestra was great.
Yeah, well, I've seen them.
great concert for
I've
that.
seen them play some really awesome shows. Like I saw them after their third album. They played a KCRW show on the Santa Monica Pier. I got to see that, and that was
How am I not
amazing.
s- That's obviously recorded because it's KCRW.
Yeah, it's on the line
I
somewhere.
haven't seen it.
On the line.
On the line.
Yeah.
Do you have dial-up? Just
Yeah,
plug in.
let me check one of my phone applications. Yeah, they were great though, and they were fantastic on Friday. Although I think everyone in the band had a show to go to that night. So
I was like Kendrick Lamar.
yeah, so
Great.
Oh, really?
yeah.
I haven't. The only time I ever went to a hip hop I feel like anytime I say hip hop, that's the wrong word.
I feel it's already outdated.
I feel like, but it's the right word though.
It is the right word.
Especially with Kendrick Lamar and like J. Cole. Those are like hip hop
Yeah.
artists. It's like it's
Kendrick's more of a rapper, I feel.
I know.
yes,
I know.
they are, but the music that they make is like R&B, hip hop.
It's the same thing where
classic
like
sort of stuff.
when I say pot instead of like something else, people
Yeah.
are like pot. It's like but anyway, the only time I've ever been to a rap concert was I went to Powerhouse at the Honda Center,
yeah.
and there were like tons of people there. And I was like 16 and still kind of into that a little bit. It was cool.
That was one of those like radio shows, right? Like
Yeah.
like
So there were like tons of huge artists there.
T-Pain probably played it.
T-Pain, 50 Cent,
Wayne,
Lil
probably,
Wayne,
yeah.
Wiz Khalifa,
These are the things
Snoop
that Chris
Dogg,
goes
Dr.
to,
Dre.
Yeah.
And it was great, but the music is played by a DJ.
Yeah.
So the beat is fucking crisp and nice and loud and full. and then the rappers are all fucked up. So it's like,
It's
Yeah.
because they have the backing vocals and stuff. They kind of
Yeah.
rap in between everything.
Well,
it kind of. It's the last time I think I'll ever go to something
yeah,
like that.
well,
Fair enough.
I
But
was-
Kendrick's different. I fucking love Kendrick.
No, yeah, I mean, like, yeah, rap concerts is like, I don't need to be, like, it's like seeing a DJ. Why do you need to be close? For what? See someone walk
Right.
around?
Well, I also feel that way when I'm seeing a band at a festival or a big concert. It's
Yeah.
like if I've been up front for those concerts and it's too loud.
Yeah.
You can't hear everything you want to hear. You should be near the soundstage if it's like a festival, because then that's where the best.
That's where the sound is best. Yeah. No, it's true. I mean, but talking about like those kind of radio shows, like like K
Help
Rock's.
yourself to more beer. If
Oh
you,
yeah, I'll grab one right now. But K Rock's Weenie Roast, right?
Yeah.
It's like I grew up on rock music, generally, and I went to a couple of these K Rock shows, and I remember digging it when I was younger, But I looked at the set lists. And like each act is playing like 25 minutes, 30-minute sets, and it's like.
That's a little whack.
But that's had to be kind of like what a rap show would be like as well, because they don't need to have any breakdown. They're just playing DJs and stuff like that. It's probably just nonstop.
That's how it was. Yeah.
And I just kind of feel like that's doing like a real disservice to those acts, those musical acts. Like
It's
25 minutes is not enough.
Dude, I bet that's the same like amount of time that their songs play on a Saturday night in a club. Like, it's just their song. They just want to hear the hits when they come.
Yeah,
to that stuff.
but that just doesn't feel like a.
Well, 'cause
like the War on Drugs played Weenie Roast. Like each one of their songs 9 minutes long. They had to play 4 tracks.
If that.
Like
Maybe 3.5.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel right.
I think that's like barely enough time to lock in to enjoying the show.
You gotta
know what I mean?
feel the
See,
audience
it's
out.
like a
and-
taste,
Yeah.
Well, but then you got to think about it too. It's a radio concert, so
I
radio
know, but-
people that listen to the radio, they're not in touch with it. They just want to hear what they hear on the radio. That's it.
Yeah.
So you got to think about the.
Well, then they should tell the people that are actual fans of those bands not to go to those shows.
I mean, but then,
Well, you can't say that.
but then also you should know as an actual fan what kind of set's gonna be.
17-year-old, 18-year-old kids don't know what
That-
two
but, hey,
26-year-olds
but
know
not-
about going to
because
shows
that's
for
a
15
learning
years.
experience. Are you gonna go back?
No.
Hell no. But then you know what it is. That's how you learn, man. You want
Yeah.
to see a
Yeah.
band, you can see them in concert by themselves.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, I'm seeing
Hmm.
MGMT on the 19th
Hmm.
in San Diego, and they're my favorite band.
Hmm.
Like, I'll be quick about it, but basically, everybody knows their pop hits.
Yeah.
I like those songs too, but they're deeper tracks. Like, if you listen to the full albums, I don't know, it just hit me in such a crazy way.
Yeah.
That band speaks to me for some reason. And first time I saw them, it was at the U.S. Open of Surfing. They were super fucking drunk. I was too, and it was fun. Wasn't a great show. Second time I saw it was at FYF, right next to the soundstage, on Ecstasy. They played all my favorite songs. The sound was great. It was just amazing. It was amazing. And it was at night, so they had
Yeah.
their visualizers, and they were coming out with a new album, blah, blah. Okay, so I tried to see them again at FYF. It was during the day, right before A Tribe Called Quest.
Man.
And so the crowd was not digging it. The crowd was waiting for A Tribe Called Quest, and it was during the day.
Yeah.
Just, it was weird. It was weird.
Yeah.
Crowd has a lot to do with the show too.
But this time, I was like, okay, last time I tried to buy tickets to see them and just another band, like see a full their show,
Yeah.
not at a festival. I logged on right when tickets went on sale, sold out. Couldn't get any. Couldn't get 2 seats next to each other.
Yeah.
This time, I was like, all right, tickets go on sale tomorrow. Fuck it, I'm just going to see if maybe accidentally the tickets are up right now. You know, they weren't, but it said put in a promo code. I typed in a bunch of things related to MGMT. One of them fucking worked.
Fuck
Yeah.
And I got premium seats right next to the soundstage.
Damn.
And I was like, I couldn't believe it.
It was meant
Yeah.
to be, dude.
I couldn't fucking believe it.
Yeah.
And like, basically, all I'm trying to get at is sound is really important for seeing a show.
Yeah.
For me now, maybe when I was younger, like, and you do like, what's that fucking Warp Tour shit
Yeah.
like that? When you're younger, it's fun to just be there.
Yeah.
But now for me, it's like, no, I want to be comfortable. I want to like really soak in this fucking
Yeah.
show.
True.
And that's tough though, because some venues just don't give you that opportunity unless you pay a whole shit ton of money. You know.
No,
Like
I mean,
we were just at the Hollywood Bowl recently.
we got to see the Hollywood Bowl. We saw LCD Sound System, right?
And-
And we were way in the back. The Hollywood Bowl, I feel, is a horrible place to watch a concert because it's never loud enough. It ends early.
Really?
I mean, yeah. I mean,
I've
I feel
heard a lot of people say that my parents saw Radiohead and Paul McCartney
really
there.
matters on who you're seeing there.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Yeah,
so
I
like,
mean, like
I've
Radiohead
seen,
and Paul McCartney.
Like, hell, I've even seen fucking Steve Martin's like bluegrass
that's funny,
New
yeah,
Year's
yeah.
Eve show. I mean, like I've done that, or the July 4th show.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that's great for that. But I feel like artists want to play that venue because it's the Hollywood Bowl.
It's super iconic.
But it's super iconic, but it's not a good place for a rock show.
yeah.
I mean, like the
really?
Yeahs.
No, it's not because
Not like anywhere higher than about halfway up.
Oh.
Like it's and like the guy that was running the sound was.
But
like,
aren't we all rich? Can't we
Yeah,
get?
I know.
oh.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're
see,
saying.
that's what it
but-
feels like to me. Like the Hollywood Bowl, it's iconic, but I'm here to make money.
Well, it's an
because-
open air venue.
Yeah.
So the sound is going to dissipate.
Well, it's-
like halfway through.
Yeah, it's just not set up for that kind of show.
It's an
really-
orchestra place.
Yeah,
basically.
and when I've seen those kind of groups there, like Radiohead would probably sound amazing there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's their kind of.
Oh, they're
setup,
they're yeah.
You know.
I know, more reverby and kind of floaty, but also loud.
Yeah.
And they'll play loud. They'll
I
fill
mean,
it up.
hell, like two of the guys now write scores for films. It's a great place
Right.
for
true.
Radiohead.
Johnny
right?
Greenwood did
Yeah.
There Will Be Blood, right?
Yeah,
And
well,
something else.
he's done every recent film with Daniel Day-Lewis. Or
Oh,
who's that
really?
director? Fuck that.
Oh right, you know what I found it because when I saw what's the most recent Daniel Day-Lewis one?
He did. Oh man, I just watched it.
Yeah, Phantom Thread.
Phantom Thread. Yeah, he did
Which
the
I
soundtrack
liked,
for
and
that as well.
It was good. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
that was cool. You know, that's when a director makes a choice that I will make people annoyed just to make a point. You know,
I
yeah.
I don't like watching movies that are easy.
No, I hear what you're saying, but
Yeah.
that's
A lot of people did not like it.
yeah.
A lot of people didn't. And I talked to them and I was like, the fuck? That
Yeah.
was so twisted.
Yeah, no,
And
it's a really
I was like, yeah.
it's a really interesting film,
Yeah.
but like that's sometimes I kind of like movies that just like has a director that's like, you know what,
Yeah.
like fuck people that are not going to understand this.
Art!
Yeah,
Art!
yeah. It's the difference between a film and a movie, right?
Tess, do you want a beer?
Sure.
Yes. Yeah, but the Hollywood Bowl. What? No, it's right here. But I've only seen Jack Johnson and a fucking the LA Philharmonic
Philharmonic,
at the Hollywood Bowl.
Yeah.
Both those weren't by choice necessarily. Not her fault, but still it was awkward.
Yeah, there's just definitely a problem with how to buy tickets. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, like,
Dude,
there's a big problem with
I've
that.
got a great story.
Yeah.
So I was gonna go see Radiohead when I was 6.
Mhm.
OK Computer tour, basically.
You were a big fan when you were 6? Just really loved OK Computer. I'm sorry, those are really done. When I was 6, I was not listening to Radiohead.
I was, and I was listening to Bjork, and like I had great parents.
Yeah, you did. You
but
did.
so I'm in line. My dad used to work for the House of Blues, and he would go and buy tickets. And not in a scalper sense, but he would buy tickets for the people that worked at the House of Blues. That was part of his job. He would buy like a few tickets, and he would go and wait in line like you would before Ticketmaster and all that stuff. And I went with him out to LA to some place it was like a record store or something. And what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to give every person in line a ticket, like a little
like raffle ticket or something?
raffle ticket type thing. And then each person is allowed to have like max of 4 tickets or something like that. We were like the 10th people in line. Obviously, there's going to be enough tickets. We get to the front, and the girl up front made a deal with somebody and like sold all the tickets to one person because he paid like under the table and like twice as much for them.
Wow.
Right? Because he's a scalper, right?
Yeah.
I had never seen my dad almost rip somebody's fucking head off. And he yelled at this lady so fucking hard because basically what she did was illegal. She fucked up his job that he was supposed to be doing, but me and him were going to go see Radiohead play OK Computer at the Hollywood Bowl.
Yeah.
I am now so happy he like scared the shit out of her because I'm so mad I've never seen Radiohead. And not only not seen Radiohead, but like OK Computer.
Yeah.
And I think it's an interesting story. Number one, because that was the first time I saw my dad blow up at somebody. But number two, because it was a time where you couldn't buy tickets online. And I think lots of people, I'm going to say our age, forget that. Like
Yeah.
our age and younger. I still remember that. But my brother, he was like, wait, you used to have to go to a record store to go buy tickets?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but the first shows my dad took me to were like that. I mean, yeah, I mean, if Radiohead, for example, right? Like I always wanted to see them live ever since like I really started diving into their music, and I caught them after King of Limbs. I watched them do In the Basement King of Limbs, and I just thought it was a beautiful album.
In Rainbows?
They did both.
They did both?
They did both. After In Rainbows, they also did King of Limbs. And,
no, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
They did two In the Basement sessions, and
yeah.
And I was like, "Fuck, this shit's insane." I missed tickets for that one, and then now you wait 7 years for A Moon-Shaped Pool, and I was like, I got to see it. You know,
yeah.
They play 2 nights at the Shrine, and those things sold out in 2 seconds. You know, and then it's like, okay, well, now I got to go and drive out to Outside Lands to go and see them play, and it's like
It's not going to be the same.
It's not the same.
It was like a diluted set.
You know, I mean, I obviously...
At a festival versus a venue?
Yeah.
Like
I mean, I dug it. You know, I loved it.
Yeah,
but you definitely know, and we're too smart not to go and see what their set lists are at other venues, and to know that at a festival where they have to end at like 11 o'clock, they're not going to be able to play every song.
Right.
You know?
See, that's going back to the Hollywood Bowl. LCD, I saw them that Tuesday at the Observatory.
Yeah.
Small little place. They played for 2 whole hours. They played so many more songs as opposed to the Hollywood Bowl. They played for like an hour and a half, maybe.
Yeah, hour and a half.
Hour and a half. They ended by 11. You know, it was like the diluted set.
And if you're smart ass jaded people like us, we know what we missed.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of great things.
Yeah, we missed a lot of great songs.
So so that's what sucks too about the scalpers. Like you said, you know, they bought up all those Radiohead tickets at the Shrine quick.
Yeah, those guys are just, you know, obviously, you know, there's a lot of crooks.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not that, you know, ticket people are the worst crooks. I mean, they're pretty fucking awful. There's pretty awful people out there in the world. But
they need to be hung by their nutsacks,
yeah.
I agree 100%.
Yeah, I mean, but are there people that need to be hung more by their nutsacks? Yes.
Yes, but
God damn it, would I like these people to be hung by their nutsacks.
I'm not saying they're the only people that need to be hung by their nutsacks.
Yeah.
I'm just saying they're on the list.
They're on the list. I mean, it's fucked up. It's fucked up. You're depriving people of seeing artist that they really want to see.
You brought up Radiohead. You wait 7 years for an album. Yeah. MGMT is one of my favorite bands because I feel like they write an album. They spend 6 months writing it at a beautiful location. It's 6 months mixing, mastering, their publisher and all that. They're getting everything together. They tour for a year and they take 3 to 4 years off. Yeah. And in those 3 to 4 years, they're living their lives like normal people. And then they come back together after that and write music. And I feel like when you take 3 to 4 years to live your life and then to come back and write a record, that record's going to be so crazy because you guys mix together well, but you've grown. Yeah. It's going to be a different sound. And that's why I love MGMT. And then the last time when this happened to me 3 fucking years ago, and they come out with an album and it sells out right when tickets go on sale, it pisses me off. It's because I bring this up all the time. Sorry to cut you off, but name another fucking person you know whose favorite band is MGMT. How do these go out of?
Well, no, I mean, my girlfriend's cousin's a huge MGMT fan.
Yeah. Okay, one other person.
But
who's buying these tickets?
No, but I mean, she had enough money to buy just whatever on StubHub, you know, because that's where real music fans have to go to buy tickets for shows. Right. Is spend a stupid amount of money. In fees I've
already had this conversation. Yeah. If Radiohead or MGMT in the future have a show, I would be willing to spend $300 per ticket because when Radiohead might be done soon. You know what I mean? So I'm willing to spend $300 per ticket for sure.
No, there are probably a list of artists that I would spend a stupid amount of money to see live.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's a lot of weed.
And it gets longer.
Smoking.
The list. It gets longer.
Quite a bit of weed we're not smoking.
Yeah, $300. That's a lot of weed.
Yeah. Yeah.
I probably spend that much on alcohol in like a month, which is stupid.
Yeah.
No.
You know, it's a good thing.
She says yeah.
Just try not to keep track.
I do.
That's my trick.
If you don't think about it, it doesn't exist.
That's my trick. If you just don't think about it.
You know what happens when I do that? It runs out faster. I go to buy a fucking cheeseburger hungover, and it's like, do you have another card? This one's not working. And I'm like, oh, I'll be right back.
Yeah. I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a cheeseburger. Yeah.
For cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
Dude, I was so hungover this morning because I had 2 Jaeger bombs yesterday with my buddy. And I just can't drink hard alcohol anymore. I can drink tons of beer,
Yeah.
but I should just stay away from hard alcohol.
You know,
Anyway, but I did that, and this morning I was like, please God, say that the money from my screen printing T-shirts went into my bank. Because I want a big breakfast. I just want to get a fat-ass breakfast and soak up some of that drunkenness. And it went through. So I got a big
nice.
breakfast. But that doesn't always happen.
That
Yeah.
sounds like a good morning, though, man.
It was slow to start, but I got there. You know, it was good.
wait, is there a restroom?
Yeah, you can use the bathroom, and then when you come back, we're gonna talk about what you guys have going on. It's just through that back door and to the left, and we'll talk about what you got going on and stuff that you guys have coming up next. When was the first show you guys played with Bundy?
When was that? I feel like it was at the Prospector maybe a couple years ago. We played with them quite a few times there. We played at, was it Ferns, I think? In Long Beach?
You know, I just listened to, was it Bundy's podcast? I think it was Bundy's podcast. And somebody was talking about Ferns, and that was the place where they recorded the video for Date Rape, Sublime's.
Oh, yeah, it might have been.
And I guess they were just saying, like, it's such a rough place. And they were like, yeah, no shit. That's where they recorded the music video for Date Rape.
Yeah, no, we only played there once. I mean, it's kind of like a weird place because, like, when we were there, the stage was, like, in the right-hand corner. But, like, you have two-way entrances. And it's, like, it's a weird setup, you know? It's kind of, like, narrow. But, I mean, I feel like there's rough parts of Long Beach, but that's, like, North Long Beach. I don't feel it was too crazy over there.
I don't know. I mean, I don't spend too much time over there unless I'm dropping off T-shirts for an order or hanging out with Bundy. And I heard that it's, you know, there are some rough spots and there's a lot of bars in Long Beach because of the Navy. Like back in the day, that was like one of the big ports for the Navy or whatever.
Yeah, well, yeah.
It might still be. I don't. Oh,
I mean, there's still like the ports, like the San Pedro. They just go over that little bridge in there in downtown Long Beach.
oh, okay, yeah. Would that basically be the Pike, or no?
That's
I don't
a
know
little
the
past
area.
the Pike, like in the opposite direction, like going toward past the 710, the freeway.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so like in the opposite, that's where San Pedro is, but that's like where all the longshoremen work. So
Oh, okay,
you just
yeah.
got to cross the bridge, and they're all right there in Long Beach.
Supposedly that's why it's kind of rough out there.
Man, but I mean, I guess it makes sense. I feel like
That's what they said.
San Pedro's rougher. They call it San Pedro. It's bad news.
Because of the speed,
Yeah.
the drug, or because it's just the time goes faster there.
No, because of the drug, man.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I mean, Long Beach is.
You guys like speed?
Never had it, man.
You guys like Adderall?
You know,
Never had it, man.
no, I was in college and they were like, "Oh, you want to do Adderall?" And I just never had the time.
See, if I would have done it in college, I probably would have graduated, man.
Maybe. I mean, I
Honestly.
feel like my grades would have been much better. You
I
know?
love it.
Yeah.
It's bad. Not that I have a problem. I haven't done it in years, but oh boy, is it great!
Yeah, I
great.
mean,
I
probably
mean, I like
a lot of
Boy,
stuff
is it-
done though,
Have
right?
you guys done Coke?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I like blow
Okay,
a lot.
so I tried Coke once, hated it. It was
Yeah.
basically like a shitty version of Adderall to me. Adderall is clean. You're like focused, hyper. Like you still get that euphoria, but it's focused, and then you have no come down.
Well,
Damn. Well, I mean,
Well,
For 4 hours, you're high. By the way,
for me, like
Yeah.
when on blow, there's no come down. It's just like that point of the night where it all ends, and you're just like sitting in your bed for like 3 hours. It's like, fuck, dude, I can't even sleep right now.
that's ecstasy for me.
I didn't
Oh,
have
that
any.
too.
I,
That's
like,
great,
I
though.
feel like I never have any sleep problems with anything. You know, like I will sleep.
Fuck, it must be
if
nice.
I want to sleep, I'll sleep. You
Yeah.
know, but
Lucky.
we did. With
lucky,
we
right?
did. What was it? Phenibut at Phenibut. Yeah, at
What the fuck?
fucking. What was the name of
What
that
is
festival?
that?
What was it? Damn.
Are you
So our friend.
Wait. Is this like speed?
No,
No,
this is like
it-
this is like what is it, like an anti-anxiety thing?
Oh,
Yeah, so
fentanyl.
Fentanyl?
Yeah, fentanyl.
I mean,
I
They-
thought it was Phenibut.
it's called Phenibut.
Oh.
Our friend has said it's called
It's called
Phenibut.
Phenibut, and you
Because
I
like
doubt it's
street Xanax, which is anti-anxiety, is basically made of fentanyl.
know. Okay.
Well, no, it wasn't
Anyway,
like Xanax.
Fentanyl, fentanyl. It's got some fenty in it.
It was we did it at
When it's outside,
Outside
Radiohead.
Lands. Yeah, and I remember, you know, at Coachella, you go to that festival, and there was like, we did one year where we went to both Coachella and Outside Lands. And out at Coachella's like, you camp there, and you're just like, how many beers can I have before I can stumble into the festival? Because it's so hot that within 45 minutes, I'll sweat out all
Right.
this beer.
Yeah.
Whereas
So it
at
is,
Outside
so-
Lands, it's like, oh my God, I'm holding in all this liquor.
That's
And
so
yeah,
nice.
you get like
And
drunk, and you stay drunk.
and you
man.
stayed, but the thing about
makes
Phenibut
me
is
happy.
that
It's great.
you you're able to your cognitive ability to like speak and your
It's like being sloppy
empathy
drunk without
and,
blacking out.
yeah, and you can have these very good conversations. I mean, Alex and I had very good conversations.
That's like me with Xanax. I don't really black out. I can take a lot, and then I'll black out eventually, but it just gets me like at that perfect.
Well, see, I've never had Xanax. Like, what is that? Like, what is the what's
Just
that for?
You don't care about anything.
Is it like
See
like
that-
morphine,
you just-
like that kind of? That kind
It's
of
that anxiety thing. For me, when I had it, it was like I had it with one beer and then I just passed out. I was like, I fell asleep.
For
It was
me,
too much for me.
I feel like I'm pretty high strung, and it just like when I take it, all my stress goes away, so I can think about things really clearly,
Yeah.
and I just feel like I'm on vacation, just vacation. Like you feel like you're on a beach somewhere, just like having a Mai Tai. You're gonna blowjob by a model. It's just
Yeah.
great, you know.
Well,
But
See, I might have fucked
I
up.
just
I had,
feel like
I had a
that's
full
marijuana.
bar.
Yeah.
me too.
Yeah, see,
I've had
fucked up, right?
I had 4 in one night, but
Yeah, fucked up
how do
a
you
full
take
bar.
how does Fentabute come?
It
What
was
is- what is
it was a liquid. We
No,
think we
no,
took-
it's a powder, and I guess you put it in like
we
cranberry
put
juice.
we
and
put
you
it in
drink
like cranberry juice or water. We mixed
don't-
it up.
I just have no nude. Oh, is this maybe Dechav?
Oh, decaf?
Hey, welcome to the podcast.
Oh shit!
Hey,
I know
sorry.
Daniel.
We started late. Dechav just rolled in.
Oh shit!
Hey, nice to see you.
Do you know him?
Yeah, we played shows.
Oh, okay.
He's
Hey.
Yeah, he was in Die Squid. Well, Die Squid's back, right? What's up, man? Hey, what's up? Good to see you. You too. Yeah, man. How you doing?
Good to see you, man.
Drew. Sorry, I wasn't checking
By the way, I never officially met you guys
Oh,
because we're in
nice.
the middle of the podcast.
Johnny, nice to meet you.
We're about to wrap up. Nice to meet you.
All right. Okay, so we've talked about a lot of shit, but let's talk about what you guys have coming up. Let's give you guys a chance to talk about yourselves for a little bit.
Yeah, well, tomorrow we're playing at Beatnik Bandito in Santa Ana.
Okay.
That record shop.
I said that's
Yep.
the 16th. We're playing at DBA 256 in Pomona on Friday the 19th, which
Okay.
we're really excited about. We love Pomona.
Just really quick. So this podcast will be up tomorrow morning. So beat Nick Bandito tonight if you're
We'll be
listening right now.
tonight, Yeah.
Okay.
10:15 tonight.
Yeah, and then after that we have we throw a festival every year in Long Beach called Super Gloom, and that'll be on the 16th. Of
You
June.
guys throw it?
Yeah,
Yeah, we do.
we
Whoa.
throw shows as well
Nice.
under the name NA Presents. So we throw our own festival. We just sort of at some point we were just like, hey, like
Oh, you
there's a lot
guys
of-
did. You did the Prospector show then.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for-
you guys-
with
yeah,
Bundy
okay,
and stuff.
with
Yeah,
Bundy.
we put that
Yeah,
together.
so we put those bills together. It's fun. It's something we do for fun on the side. But like Super Gloom is our like baby. We get to pick which bands we want. And,
Nice.
And we're excited because tomorrow we'll be releasing the lineup and everything.
Or
and,
today the lineup.
Oh, well,
is-
today we'll be releasing the lineup.
dropping.
So that's on June 16th, and that's gonna be really fun. That's gonna be in downtown Long Beach at a place called Made. And then in June and July we'll be recording 2 singles to release late in summer.
Okay.
So we're really excited.
Very cool.
Yeah.
You guys have your music on
Spotify, Apple Music, it's any streaming site.
It's on Tidal as well.
Yeah, on Tidal as well. We made sure
No
of it.
way.
Yeah, us and Beyonce.
Look us up on Tidal.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming by, guys.
Yeah, man.
It was
Thanks
a really
for
good
having us.
time, and I hope you guys will come back. And sounds like I got to go to your. Wait, are you playing Friday?
Saturday.
Saturday. Wait.
in Pomona at DBA 256.
Oh, I was just there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, come down.
So you're
It's a
playing.
good lineup too. It's Paco. Well, it
It's just
used to be
Paco.
Paco at the Tacos, Paco and the Tacos, but now it's just Paco. And there's
What
a band
happened
called
to Tacos?
I don't know what happened to Tacos, but then there's the Slop, who's really really great, and Foolish Johns, who are awesome. So it's gonna be a good night of rock music.
All right. Well, I'm gonna catch you guys at one of them.
Yeah,
One of your upcoming ones.
yeah.
I'll be
Come
there.
to Super Gloom. I got a ticket for you.
And that's
June 16th.
June 16th.
June 16th.
You're
Oh
gonna-
God, I thought you were
well,
talking about
As
this.
soon as we start recording, we'll tell you the headline.
Okay.
man.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll be there. I'll be there.
Well,
All right. Cool. Well, thanks for coming by.
yeah. Thanks, man.
You guys should stick around if you can while we do this podcast.
Yeah,
And we can
Yeah, we're drinking.
we're drink.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah, thanks. Oh, real quick before I sign off, tell people bands they should be listening to.
Moon Honey, obviously.
Yeah, Moon Honey.
Swim.
Temples.
Swim is good.
Future Islands. I mean, that's obvious. Yeah, Swim is great. Obviously, Future Islands is probably a little too late for some people. James Super Cave, Moon Honey,
Ron Gallo.
Ron Gallo. Yeah, Ron Gallo. Obviously, Chicano Batman.
I love Chicano Batman. It's
Um,
crazy.
Yeah, great.
fuck.
Oh, what's
You
up?
put me on the spot, man.
All right.
It's really important.
You got 3, 2.
Oh my God.
That's about it.
Beach House. Listen to Beach House. Yeah.